Welcome, everybody, to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders. This is a live YouTube vidcast for Star Wars fans by Star Wars fans. Yes, that's a sweet-ass goblet. Somebody
my
must
gaming
really...
goblet.
Anyways, today we're going to be finishing off our review of Season 1 of The Bad Batch with our review of... whatever, Jesus Christ. It's Episode 16, Kamino Lost. I fucked up. Whatever. It was a good one.
Initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts? Holy shit. Where was this entire season?
Yeah.
Like, this was the perfect blend of BioShock and the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blended.
I felt tension the whole time, which was great. Like, because I'm just feeling anything watching the show. Like, it's like a 180, you know? Normally I'm just like sitting through it going, all right, I'm going to talk about that. Oh, I'm definitely going to talk about that. You know, this time I was just like, ooh, ah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's get into it. This was directed by Saul Ruiz. It was written by Jennifer Corbett. It was released August 13th, this past Friday on Disney+. Let's do our little walkthrough here.
All right. So, I mean, it starts obviously where the last episode left off. Just the Empire blasting the fuck out of Kamino. Like, God,
awesome.
That just, like, I could watch that shit. Just, like, give me 30 minutes of that and I'm going to be happy.
Yeah. Like,
just the sheer scope of it and the destruction. Like, it was fucking awesome.
It was pretty cool. The only thing that bugged me in hindsight, I should say, is that it was just a city, which leads me to believe there's more cities on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this was Tipoca City on Kamino. Mm-hmm. So is it really that damaging to the species? Like, are there other cities where the Kaminoans live on? Like, I don't know. It made it feel like this was like the only living spot on the planet, but I don't know.
Well, see, I was wondering about that because we haven't seen anywhere else. Like, are they like the Mon Cals and the Quarrens where they're aquatic creatures, so everything's underwater mostly? I could see it being devastating. Like, if that's what they're known for, it would be like going to, Cornet City and destroying the shipping yards. Like, that would destroy Corellia.
If you're like a capitalist nation and someone attacked your twin towers of financial devastation. I don't know, twin towers. If you're America. I was trying to make it. I don't know. It didn't work. All right, next.
Yep.
Moving on.
Let's hit rewind on that one. Try that again. But yeah. So I mean, I get it, but I also feel like we don't really know shit about them. So it's like, cool, you blew up 3 buildings. I mean, there's so much more underwater anyway. So it's like, is it really that big of a loss? Who knows?
Yeah, and
but
we've also been kind of. I don't want to shit on this. We've also been kind of primed. Whenever there's like a Tarkin scene and there's going to be like some sort of orbital bombardment, it's usually with like a secret weapon or a test weapon or it's some new technology. And this is just traditional like turbo laser fire. And so that, I was like, well, we know that they're developing Project Stardust. Isn't that the Death Star? So couldn't we get like a little bit of tasty taste of some, I don't know, massive weapon, like something new or something exciting because they pulled in Tarkin? Because if it's just a traditional orbital bombardment and he's already been given the authority to do it, why does he need to see a hologram of Tarkin? You know? Like that doesn't give us anything. There's no added value there. We already know he's going to devastate this poor city. But to your point, it was great watching it because again, usually it's just like one, like beam and then all of a sudden this was like just constant barrage.
This was just pure fucking destruction.
Awesome. It was awesome. And seeing them move through it, like I genuinely was like, in my heart and in my head, I'm like, yeah, they're going to make it out.
Oh, of course.
But I was worried.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a few times where it's like, yeah, they might not all make it out. Yeah. So
what did you think about when they finally are trying to get to the surface and Omega goes after oh wait, hold on, what was it? Omega and Azzy 3 save Crosshair when they're trapped in the flooding room. I thought those little moments of like going back and trying to get everyone out, I loved them. I thought they were great.
Mm-hmm.
Like at no point was I like, that's cheesy.
I didn't understand her going underwater to open the door. How was that going to work? But whatever. She's a little girl, so I guess she's stupid or something. It's like, why wouldn't you just send the fucking droid with repulsors?
Yeah. To
try to pry it open? But yeah, that I don't know. I hate going back to this, but it's like this episode would have been great if it wasn't for Omega.
I actually really liked it when she went back for her droid.
No, I totally bought. Like that was a pretty heart-wrenching moment. It's like, oh fuck, he's clearly gonna destroy himself to save everybody.
Yeah.
And then obviously she does the same thing.
Denies his heroic moment.
Yeah, fucking asshole. He was gonna be a hero, and she ruined it.
What a dick! Omega's a dick.
She really is.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like the whole show was just, you could summarize it in 2 lines. Like it was them escaping the city and avoiding danger and there's a couple of points where you really felt like, okay, well, they feel defeated, until she's like, and we're back. Okay.
Hey, let's try this again without any Twin Towers talk.
You just mentioned it.
Skype's trigger. No, I said we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
So that's safe.
Let's definitely not talk about it.
I did actually, now that we're back on, remember what the fuck I was saying, I believe.
Okay.
But with this episode, I have never related to one of the characters more than with Crosshair in this one.
Really?
Like, this makes so much sense. And he's talking shit on Omega. Like, it's like, all right, I can understand why this guy feels the way he does.
Yeah, there's a lot of, why are you following her? What is she, your boss now? Yeah, I like that.
Like, well, she's technically older than us. No, she's a fucking little girl and you guys have accelerated aging. Like, it's not how it works.
That's not how time works. Yeah, it's obscure because even though she may have been on the planet longer, on Kamino longer, they have aged faster. You know, it's not like it's a Yoda species where at 50 they're still little babies, barely able to speak. Like they're grown up warriors, like the most elite troops you can get. Yeah, so just Omega and Ozzy 3 saving Crosshair when they were trapped in the flooding room. And then the bombardment makes the building sink into the ocean, and I was just like, "Oh, they're dead. You're not coming out of this." But then it didn't seem like it was that deep.
Yeah,
I was like, "What is this? A bathtub?"
Yeah, they got up there pretty fast.
It's
like, and you think they would have to deal with explosive decompression type shit? Like,
right.
Oh, let's go in this glass tube with no oxygen and just go straight up.
I was telling Shauna, my wife, I was like, they got the bends right now.
Yeah,
they have
to.
their blood is
gonna walk 2 steps and then their heart's just gonna fucking explode.
Seriously, that's how it works, people. Look, Google it. Science, okay? Yeah, that always kind of bugs me when they do little stuff like that. But the fact that they tried to escape to the surface through test tubes, containers, I thought was a nice little, sort of spin, that's where they were born out of, and it's what they're going to be surviving out of too. Nice.
Well, and literally theirs too. That was the lab that they were created in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was nice.
And it kind of reminds me of those. Yeah, I love those shark movies where they're trapped into the ocean. It's I can't remember what they're called, but so clearly I don't love them that much. But I enjoy 47.
The ones where they
meters.
manage to talk the whole time, even though they have zero communication equipment. Yeah, 47 meters below.
Yeah.
Love that shit. It's so
I just like the claustrophobia of it, and I got a taste of that with this. They're this moment of hopelessness, and they're like, we got to try whatever we can. This, we're going to die. We have to do something. We have to figure something out. And I like that, the droid runs out of battery. He's like, I'm already running low. We've never seen that before.
No.
Not once has R2 ever run out of power.
Well, to be fair, he's also a lot smarter than this droid, so...
That's true. He's a true hero. Oh, I feel bad. Kenny Baker, His in memoriam was late last week. So the original R2-D2 actor, in memoriam for him, especially. Love you, man.
I say he died like a couple of years ago, so
Yeah. No, it was just the anniversary of his death.
interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's welcome to the present.
No, it was just, it was the 13th that he died, and so it came around again, and I was just thinking about him.
Yeah.
The true hero of the entire saga.
Yeah, 100%. And legends.
Yeah.
Like that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So
we just love the droids. Like, droids make Star Wars, and it's what separates Flash Gordon from Star Wars.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
It's either curly mustaches, tight clothes, or droids. Like, one of those three things separates Star Wars from Flash Gordon, and nothing else.
Yeah, absolutely nothing else.
But I liked that touch, and I really liked that she. I just imagine Anakin doing the same thing. He's like, no, I'm going after R2. She was like, no, I'm going after my droid. Like, she didn't care about him for 13 episodes or 15 episodes. Didn't give a fuck about this droid. But the second that they're together and she's like, oh, he just saved us. I'm going to look like an asshole if I don't go. So, all right, I'll go. Yeah. I don't know why. I just liked it. But now in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, why did she go? Because she didn't even care. She didn't think about him at all. She didn't. She never once was like, hey, we've got to go back and save all of the other people that we just met and some people that were trying to kill us. But my faithful droid, fuck him.
Yeah.
That's what she was for the entire season until now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Omega's a monster. She's a straight up monster.
She really is. She really is. Especially with the ending. Like, she should have begged him or shot him in the leg and pulled him on board. But
dude, what if I just thought about this. What if, first of all, they've got to do Star Wars What If, because I really enjoyed the Marvel What If episode I saw. Star Wars What If, Omega is actually Count Savat. God damn it. What's her name? The bald Sith girl.
Asajj Ventress.
Asajj Ventress. Omega is actually Asajj Ventress. Like, she turns into Asajj Ventress. She goes through the world between worlds, comes out on the other side as a young, adopted into the Dathomir witch clan, shaves her head ritualistically, and learns to use the Force. See? That makes her cool.
That I would accept that.
That would make her actually really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then she goes back in time and just starts messing up Anakin. Hell yeah. And doing like witty repartee with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Best part of the Clone Wars first season was Asajj and Obi-Wan fights.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Their back and forth was the best. All right, this is not that. So let's get back to this.
This is nowhere near as good.
So Omega, tries to save. Oh yeah, so she goes down to save Ozzy, or whatever the damn droid name is.
Yeah.
AZ. Crosshair goes in after her. What did you think about that? Crosshair ends up saving her and
I like that.
AZ.
I mean, it made sense because, like, that's the thing. He's dealing with a lot of shit. Like, he doesn't understand where they're coming from. They don't understand where he's coming from, but he still doesn't want to be a cunt.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I bought it. It just made sense for his character, and it was nice, especially like when the camera pulls back and they're up and everybody else pulling.
Oh great! Now you froze, dude. What is happening with the stream? All right, well, he's going to be coming back, so let's have a little bit of patience here. We appreciate you guys'. Oh my gosh. We appreciate your patience. Part of what I loved about Crosshair in this episode, and this is just a money shot that we have of Cameron. He looks so surprised, so shocked. All right, so he said the Skype just shut down, so we're gonna deal with that. Part of what I loved about this, the Crosshair side, is that we realize that he is only just behaving in his own self-interest. He's not trying to be a bad guy. He just sees the world through a different lens. That's it. Nothing more or less. And there's something kind of refreshing about that when you think of it in the context of like Star Wars, because you see like the super bad guys side, the Sith, and they're always, sort of doing their, we're going to destroy the evil Jedi. And the Jedi like, we're going to destroy the evil Sith. But these are just soldiers in a war that is no longer going on. But if that's what you're bred to do, and that's all you've ever known your entire life, to switch it off like that is impossible for virtually anyone. It's strange that the rest of the Bad Batch was able to do it. But having Crosshair grounded in that truth it's honest. It's a realistic portrayal of this fantasy moment that he's going through. And I really respect that a lot. And especially, I don't know if his going after Omega and Ozzy is a sort of like, you owe me one, and so I'm going to, you saved me, and so I'm going to go save you. Or if there's something deeper there. In the moment, it felt like, oh, well, Crosshair is turning a corner. He's going to join the Bad Batch, and we're going to be back together again, and it's going to be all great. But is it? So, all right, we're going to try to do this here. Try to get him back. You got to love that sound, the Skype sound.
God, let's see if this wants to work.
All right. Hey, we both dropped out once. We're even.
Yeah, okay, I think so.
So I was just talking about how I really appreciated the honesty of Crosshair living in his experience, because he was raised for a war that is no longer around anymore. And so he's only continuing what he was literally bred to do, whereas the other Bad Batch, for some reason, they were able to just like switch that off, which is very unrealistic. When you think of, this is what they were taught to do their entire lives, and he's just continuing that cycle of just, this is how I know how to be, and so I have to be this way. His whole saving Omega and Ozzy, I saw as like he was repaying a debt because she saved him before. But when you're watching it, you're almost thinking, is he turning a corner? Is he going to join the Bad Batch now? Like, is he? Because we get that sort of redemption arc in, I think, every single Star Wars trilogy. So, except for the first one, except for the prequels, I think, because there's no, it's just bad. It just goes from like baseline to really, really bad. But the other two, you get a sort of a redemption arc, and so that's what, I don't know. Were you thinking that when you were watching this?
Yeah, absolutely. Like that final scene, like it holds for a while, and it's like, shit, does he get on there? Like, I kept waiting for somebody as they were lifting off to be like, come on, get your ass in here. And then him be like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I was like, I mean, on one hand, I knew that's how it was going to play out because it just makes sense that way. But at the same time, it was like, I almost thought he was going to get on the ship as it was taking off.
I totally thought he was. Yeah. And I'm surprised. And actually, I'm encouraged that he didn't. I like that he didn't, because it seems like it would be too easy. He's had 2 episodes to go from trying to kill them, seemingly, to turning a corner. And instead of doing that, they were a little bit more honest with his character arc. So he's like, look, I'm not like you. I appreciate where we came from. I don't know why you're able to turn this off, but I can't turn this off. This is who I am. And there was a beautiful line that Hunter said. He's like, no, I understand you. I just disagree with you. And I may be paraphrasing, but that was the message behind it. And I thought, if there's anything that needs to be taught to our current world, it's that idea.
Right.
Star Wars fans, our entire culture, like everyone needs to understand, you can understand someone else without actively trying to destroy them personally or professionally. It's okay. And in this particular case, he was literally trying to kill him, and he's like, "Look, he's my brother. I'm not gonna go there." I just wish some people would take that to heart a little bit in the real world. You don't have to be constantly opposed to other people simply because they see things differently than you do. But that's our culture, I guess. We can't learn from cartoons, so We're doomed to repeat
Yeah,
it.
and where the fuck else are we supposed to learn from? Like, that's the whole point of cartoons.
That's how I was raised.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of every episode of a cartoon, there was like a little nugget of, hey, kids, you know, don't eat poison. You know, some stupid like rule that, you know, a little too late for Johnny.
Right, stupid kid. Should have waited one more episode.
If he just would have hung in there a little longer, G.I. Joe would have told him. But no, he had to drink that poison. It's so colorful.
Stupid kid.
It's like a Kool-Aid. Like a deadly Kool-Aid. All right, what are we talking about? Okay, and then we close with Nala Se walking in. This felt weird. The pacing felt weird. It was like they were trying to wrap up this whole story arc, but we already saw her taken away. So they didn't need to see her walking into another facility. It didn't give any indication about where it was, even though all of us in our sort of headcanon understand where she's going.
Yeah.
I thought it was really out of place. It was like I expected more sort of concluding moments, but then it was over.
Yeah.
What
I mean, I dug it just because there's a whole fuck ton of Republic commandos.
Yeah.
Like, those are just awesome.
So, I mean, is she... You know, they released that that Star Wars article about the full contingency plan for the Emperor. So do you think this is feeding into that, and that's why they released it? To say, okay, no, she's part of that.
Yeah, that would be my guess, because I mean, what else? What other purpose does keeping her serve?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just... It feels so Band-Aid, you know? Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel natural. It just feels like you don't... It would actually make more sense if the Kaminoans were not involved in the cloning of the Emperor, because it clearly went badly. Like, the whole thing was that he couldn't find a body to fit. But the Kaminoans have generations of cloning perfection. So if they were involved, wouldn't it have worked? Wouldn't they have been able to do something? I don't know. It seems so forced, and just, I don't need it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, even if we go back to Legends, like, I mean, it's still, like, even though they had perfected cloning and stuff, because, like, look at Starkiller.
Yeah.
Garen Malik, like, there was that whole slew of clones of him, but it was also, like, is it a clone? Is it not a clone? Because clones can't control the Force.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it was cool-ish, I guess, but unless it serves a purpose for the coming season, it was pointless.
Yeah.
Like, we already know she was getting drug off to, help the Emperor. Cool. We don't need to see more of it.
I mean, and it was announced that there is a second season, so that sort of leads to this sort of this reflection on. Before we do that, let's do our favorite and least favorite. What was your favorite moment of this episode?
Oh God, just that barrage, man! Like, anytime we get large scale destruction in Star Wars, it's always beautiful, and I ate that up. Yeah,
I loved the panic for survival that we got to witness the Bad Batch go through. For some reason, there's some, you and I are big horror fanatics, and so that is everything in a horror film, is the survivor girl or her friends who ultimately are going to die doing their best to survive. And that is like it's the most honest part of humanity, is your struggle for survival. And to see that in a cartoon, for me, it elevates the cartoon a lot more.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Rather than just saying, well, they're going to be fine. So,
Well, and the sheer despair too, like it was like, as you see the tubes cracking and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I just, I guess some of it I get baggage from one of the last books that I read. Like, I read a book called Rapture. It was the prequel to BioShock, basically.
Oh yeah.
So as they're running through those tubes, there's no power. They're just fucked. Like, all I'm thinking about is the end of that book, and it's like, oh God, this is so fucking good. It's like they got that claustrophobia right. They got that despair right. Like, it was,
I hope they just elevate it more once the new season starts. Ugh. Just take the best of this season and amplify it. Cut off the crap. Yeah, my favorite moment was definitely that. What was your least favorite?
Fucking I hate Omega. Just like, really, what did you think you were going to do underwater to pry open a fucking door that a guy that can take 3 tanks and go, can't even open? Like, the fuck, that was stupid. Yeah.
I think, I mean, just habitually, Omega's the worst part of this whole series. I don't... There are moments when I'm like, wow, she's not horrible, but there's never a moment where I'm like, yeah, we need her.
Right?
Like, not once.
Like, you kind of forget she's there if it's going well.
Yeah. Best case scenario.
Yeah. It shouldn't be that way.
There's something about that character that I can't get behind yet. She's got her work cut out for herself in season 2. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
she wants to turn the corner. All right, so this was the end of the season. Let's talk about a little bit of recap. I don't have every episode in front of me, so I'm not going to be able to call out titles or anything. But were there any standout moments for you in this season? Like, what was your takeaway of this?
My takeaway was they didn't have a plan. It seems.
Oh, really?
When it came to writing, yeah. Like, now in retrospect, because I mean, fuck, there's the season's finished, and there was so much cool shit, but at the end of the day, it didn't fucking matter. Like, my favorite part of this season has been like the bounty hunter back and forth.
Yeah.
All it was to reintroduce characters into a different timeline, and it wasn't necessary. I appreciated it. Like, I thought it was awesome, but it was all just throwaway episodes. Like, that did not progress the story at all.
Yeah. And they just disappeared.
Yeah.
Like, they were just like, well, all right, I guess I don't get her. Like, don't you understand what bounty hunters do? That's how they get their money. That's how they live. That's how they eat. They're not going to just stop. Like, you got to pay them.
Especially right now, like, the entire structure of how the galaxy works is gone. Like, it started anew. So obviously somebody that's used to having a lot of fucking money is going to do everything in their power to get more of that money.
Yeah.
Because there's no stability right now.
Yeah, to have Fennec Shen just be like, you're in a good bunch. See you later. Like, did you get paid? Like, what are you doing? You deserve to get shot in the stomach later now. Like,
I agree. She earned it.
So weird. Yeah, that I was so excited about the inclusion of the bounty hunters, because I'm like, oh, they're going to turn this into like a criminal underworld thing. And then the criminal underworld we got was a bar lady. And it was all just like at home stuff. I don't know. It was,
Yeah.
The whole season I'm trying to remember how many episodes I enjoyed. There had to be like maybe 4 episodes that I was like, that wasn't horrible. And that was it. 4 episodes out of 16. That's not a good number.
I can think of 5.
Yeah.
Because we got the 2 heavy bounty hunter ones.
Right.
Honestly, the penultimate and the finale, I liked.
Yeah, me too.
And then the introduction, or the first episode.
Oh, right. Yeah,
like,
that
was fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything else, 5. Not needed.
Yeah, it was just strange. It was like, you're right about the inconsistency with the storyline too. You'd think they would have learned this after the sequel trilogy, but Disney, they got a Disney, because I thought that Crosshair was hunting them the whole time. That's what I thought the bounty hunters were for. But no, he wasn't hunting them, even when he said he was hunting them. So, what's happening?
It's like there was no point in him seeking them out other than kill them. It's not like he was trying to convert them.
And like with the Mandalorian, those sort of filler episodes actually gave context to his connection with Grogu.
Yeah, they weren't filler.
But with this, the filler episodes were literally just fillers. It was like, okay, you're going to go and stop this criminal from taking your bar. What? What is
you guys got to pay your popcorn debt.
Yeah, it's just, it's so weird. Like, what you have to introduce a popcorn debt fee? Like, that's what they're living with now? They were war heroes, celebrated soldiers, and now they're just chasing their popcorn fix?
I mean, I get it.
Get the fuck
but yeah, it's
out of
like
here.
that's the hard part. Because if you were to take all the episodes by name and try to put them in order, like you could completely fuck it up and it wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Like if you were to watch this shit on random, you'd be fine. As long as the last 2 episodes and the first episode were in order, everything would still work just as well.
Yeah, and it's strange because consistently, I think it's always looked great.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics have always been top notch, and the music I always thought was really great.
Yeah.
And so even if the story sucks, at least it's pretty to look at. Whereas you look at Rebels or you look at Clone Wars, that wasn't always the case. And so it's nice at least they got something right, but you would think that story would be the most important part.
Right.
And in this season, it wasn't. It didn't feel like it anyway. And it blows me away running into Star Wars fans that are just like, no, this was great. This was the best Star Wars animation first season ever. I'm like, did we watch the same thing?
No, no, definitely did not. Like, it's sad. I keep going back to like comparing this shit to Resistance. Like Resistance,
I mean, that was the last one, so how could you not?
Yeah, like it was awful.
Yeah,
we all agreed it was awful. Yeah. But there was an A to B to C and so forth. Like there was a timeline that actually made sense. Whereas this, again, like I think that is my least favorite part of this season and series in general, because we only got the 1 season, is just there's no timeline. None of this needs to be in order to make sense, and that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because like it was different with the Clone Wars. Like the Clone Wars, that was an ongoing thing that did bounce around, and it was fine. It made sense that way. This, it's literally just following them.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's linear, but you can't tell.
Yeah, except for that Twi'lek random episode, which I enjoyed, but why was it there? Like I didn't understand why.
It was so we could see Hera Syndulla again.
Yeah, and that's like the other part of this is this whole series feels like it's just trying to give us a little bit of nostalgia for Rebels and for the Clone Wars rather than it owning itself. Yeah. You know? And even nodding its hat to Mandalorian with Fennec Shand. Like this was to remind you about the Star Wars universe elements you liked instead of telling a story that you enjoyed.
It did seem that way, definitely.
Which is frustrating. All right. Well, what do you hope for this second season? I mean, do you think they're going to learn from any mistakes, or do you think they're just going to continue the same?
I mean, I'm hoping it's okay. Because, I mean, really, if we look at all the series, even Clone Wars, which we love now, first season was trash.
Yeah.
First season of Rebels, trash. They all finished strong. But it was just like, you could take it or leave it. Like you could go on to the second season and you're not really going to miss that much. And it's just going to all be good for the most part. So I'm really hoping that they stay true to that where, they got all the dumb, goofy shit done and over with. They already built the team. They built the chemistry between the team. Let's just see the team do what the fuck they're going to do. Yeah. Because that's the thing with this. Like what are they doing other than not dying? Like it doesn't seem like there's
really
a fucking
seem like they're being hunted down either. Like
no,
even when there were bounty hunters involved, it didn't feel like they were being hunted down.
Yeah,
so no point.
Well, I mean, what's their purpose too? Like Rex is doing some shit.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part is that we know stuff is going down, and when they tease that there's characters that we want to watch doing stuff. And then we're forced to watch this instead. We're just like, well, let's just pick up there. Just go to them. Right? I want to go to them.
Yeah.
Let me watch Rex, because that's the interesting part of it. I mean, there were some good episodes. I can't pretend like there weren't. And even though, to be fair, I feel like we bitch more about it simply because we're passionate about Star Wars than maybe it deserves in some cases. But there were some genuinely bad episodes in
there were some really bad episodes.
So I don't think it's totally unfair that we're speaking about it as we are. But they've done amazing stuff. So it's not like they don't know what is a 10 every time.
Well, and that's I believe that's why we bitch about it. Yeah. Because we have seen how well they can do.
Yeah.
And like especially with Filoni as the mastermind behind everything, like he's the heir to the fucking Empire, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Like he knows his shit. Like let us draw upon that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot to... We know what's going on in the galaxy right now. This is the fledgling era of the rebel cells developing and forming. You have Rex and his group trying to, regroup together as, remnant clone troops. You just have the Empire locking down the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is a ripe time for danger and adventure and excitement. But whether or not they're going to tell that story, I'm always just like, I don't know. Do you think this next season, they're going to lean into sort of those, Darth Maul, Crimson's Dawn, anything that, similar stuff that we felt, with these other series that we loved?
I doubt it, but I really hope that they show more of the pre-alliance rebellion.
Yeah, more Saw
like
Gerrera.
They go to like different cells and all that stuff. Yeah, because at this point, like Saw's not the radical that has been kicked out of the alliance because he's so he's fucking Saw Gerrera.
Yeah.
Like I want to see that. Like they need to bounce around to find a home, and instead of working for a fucking chameleon in a bar that has 2 patrons.
So weird.
Let's see them do that. Like go help out other cells. Like watch the beginning of the alliance build.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've gotten that in books, but I don't even think any of the books are fucking canon anymore.
Yeah, and all the video games that we saw that did that are no longer canon. So
yep,
this would be the perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exciting. Okay, let's hope.
That's what I'm keeping my fingers crossed for, because that is really, 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 really what I want to see.
Yeah. All right. And they could do this wonderful crossover experience too between this animated show and the live action Cassian Andor show.
Mm-hmm.
Like there could be like a little handoff period between the two, which would be very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Disney, just listen to us. We got your best interest at heart here.
Right. We just want to give you more money.
Let us give you money.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? All right. Well, that's all I had. Is there anything else you wanted to go over?
Nah, we pretty much covered it.
All right. Well, I apologize about the technical issues that we suffered, but that's life. Thank you for hanging in there. For all of you watching this after the fact, if you like what we're doing here, or, you can always, of course, we welcome your comments. If you think we're on point, you think we're completely off point, we'd love to hear it, because we can understand the disagreements and not hate each other.
Absolutely.
Just like the Bad Batch. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the videos, and until next week, may the Force be with you.
She's calling the shots now?
Fucking Omega.
That just summed up.